Hello and welcome back. I'm Mr. God and we're going to continue to the Enchanted Hall. Before we had the ghost ship, now we've got this. First we'll go through the book of gallowmere. Yeah, I think it's that combination. Go through the book. Because I can. And I will. No, gallowmere. Alright, just remember. The entrance hall. Conducts his evil wizardry duties here. Try not to disturb the imps. I don't know. Ah, screw it. What? Are you serious? Only magic can kill them.
Those mischievous imps have been at Xerox spellbooks again. They're shielded by magic, the naughty creatures.
Yeah. Anyway, that's wrong button. Let's have a look. The Book of gallowmere. Any new entries I haven't gotten to yet. So this one, Pumpkin Witch.
Winner of the Jolliest Witch in Gallowmere Award for the 4th consecutive year. Wartilda actually runs a successful potions business and makes cool cheddar from her pumpkin spice profiteering. The other witches are secretly jealous. There once was a statue named Jack. For riddles he did have a knack. Dan entered the garden, which Jack was a garden. A smart hero would have turned back. A lusty adventurer in his heyday, this once beloved mayor stole the shadow artifact from Xerox Tower after the disgraced sorcerer was banished from the kingdom. When Xerox returned, so mad was he that he tore the whole town apart in his wrath, turning many of the good townsfolk into goats. After that, the mayor's approval ratings fell dramatically. His re-election now seems unlikely, although these days it seems anything is possible. Subaquaticus pachydermis draconis, truly one of nature's marvels and found nowhere on Earth other than the lakes of Gallowmere. These peaceful creatures are the product of a chance encounter between an elephant and a dragon. Truly, love knows no bounds.
Wait, sorry, when did I run into one of them? What? Hang on. What? Elephant dragon? I've got to look this up because I don't ever remember running into one of them. Let alone anything else like it. Jeez, Well, hang on, let me have a look. What? So, give me a second. Sorry about that, I'm now back. Apparently on the level where you go under the water, there's a water dragon in there. I don't know actually. I'd have to have a look at that and have just a few minutes video of looking at the things swimming by. Because that's different. Anyway, let's go back to the entries of this book, shall we? Chickens.
This feather-brained flock isn't good for much, not even shadow demon food. Farmers are far more filling. You may find yourself relying on their dim wit, but cross that drawbridge when you come to it. Are these good men? Their farmyard toil puts food on the plates of the nation, but at what price? Could mutant pumpkins be the result of forcing innocent pumpkins to consume their fleshy brethren? Does safeguarding one's crops justify deployment of homicidal scarecrows? Who will speak for the wolves? Save them, or don't. It's up to you. Wise King Peregrine, they used to say. But seriously, this guy sent his entire army to battle the undead led by you. Does that sound like someone wise? Somehow that battle was won without you, but it didn't really help King Peregrine. He died a few days later after choking on a Brussels sprout. They say his ghost lingers still in the haunted ruins, that he paces the halls late at night, coughing up sprout chunks. I think this story proves beyond a doubt that no one should ever eat Brussels sprouts. Birds only like one person in their life. For some reason, this one likes Dan. This scavenger saw a corpse meal and instead found a friend. What a lovely way to meet. These once good-natured pumpkins fell victim to the Pumpkin King's toxic influence. They're still tasty if you can convince them not to murder you, but perhaps you should think about things from their perspective. Well, how would you feel if someone wanted to scoop out your brains and carve a big, goofy smile across your face? Fresh off the vine, these baby boomers are in too much of a hurry to grow up. They can't wait to spread their pumpkin seed. These rats seem harmless, but they have tiny fingers, and they're probably plotting something terrible. Each rat you squish is an act of treason against the mighty Rat King Derek. Hypnotized citizens of a once thriving town. They'll happily invite you in for tea, but if they ask to borrow a shovel, you should probably decline. Xerox Mechanical Goon Squad, developed deep in the City of Madness, although manufactured in China, of course. That coal in their stomach fuels them, whilst also cooking up a mean brisket. Disciples of the head monk, these men of the cloth have been driven mad by the disappearance of their master, and Jack's incessant ramblings. The harsh chime of a bell tells them an unwelcome guest has arrived, or that it's time for dinner. Perhaps both. People seldom consider how hard it is to trim a sentient shrub, not least the fire-breathing types who would just as soon set themselves ablaze as play understudy in your latest topiary production. No, gardeners in Gallowmere do not get enough credit. With the disappearance of the head monk, these patients have been left to run amok. We don't know exactly what it was that sent them raving mad. Perhaps it was magic, perhaps the moon. Perhaps they were all licking toads. Truly, you should not lick those toads. Some of the most evil, murderous critters ever to blight the land. Thankfully, they were locked away in a hermetically sealed vault by a great hero hundreds of years ago. Don't worry, we're safe. Only a complete fool would ever set them free. Oh, please tell me you didn't. The heaviest of infantry and most ill-suited for the Battle of Gallowmere. Many of them fell victim to the deep mud rather than swords or spears. These undead knights are most effective when rolled down hills or launched from catapults. Touchy-feelers of the Swamp Guardian, said to live deep below the water's surface. Though too timid to show his many faces, he still likes to stay in touch. Sometimes he stays in touch too hard. The soil of the ancient battlegrounds, made fertile by the blood of centuries, splits forth the husks of these sorry souls. Their battle should have long since ended, and yet they still march in proud defiance of the living. These crestfallen cravens once fled the battlefield and are now bound to it, doomed to forever relive their greatest moment of shame. And forever is a long time. Tough break. I guess being dead isn't all fun and games. These floundering fiends lure naive fishermen near the water before dragging them screaming into the watery depths. There's no such thing as an easy meal in Gallowmere. Not for humans, at least. Hired muscle. The Guardians of Gallowmere should really shell out more clams for their services. Nevertheless, these barnacles still stick around. These aquatic abnormalities found a home in the sunken town of Mellowmead. Here they spend their days performing ritualistic sacrifices to malevolent elder deity. Perhaps best not to get involved, I'd say. An ill-fated mining expedition by citizens of Mellowmead caused a tragic and brutal retaliation by the Rhinotors. They have since gone into hibernation. Nothing irks them more than being woken up early, and to them, anything before 2 p.m. is early. Have no pity for these fools. They were once Gallowmere's most heinous criminals, as fearsome in life as they are now in death. What a world we live in, where the guilty execute the innocent. These slow-moving busybodies are like so wrapped up in themselves. Once Gallomere's elite, they now walk alongside the common corpses. Death brings everyone together. This mean-spirited snake was always viewed as the lesser serpent's sibling. It was always Kolkatura this and Kolkatura that. Well, if no one wants to worship him, let there be no worshippers at all. These brain-dead bodyguards still defend King Peregrine. Don't tell them of his passing. They would be devastated. Trained in small arms, these knights must throw their weapons due to their small arms. Stone golems were once the hottest ticket in castle security, and King Peregrine was one of the first to purchase a pair for his personal protection. Of course, they say you should always skip the first generation of new tech, and when golems started to stomp all and sundry, the manufacturers were forced to issue a full product recall. Sadly, King Peregrine missed the recall note on account of being dead, and his golems are still guarding, still stomping.
Wabbajack.
These are spines. These are spineless sea dogs with a penchant for plundering. They never complain, even when cleaning the poop deck. Obedient to a fault, they won't even revive themselves unless commanded to. The pirate captain's right-hand men, despite their lack of right hands. Their main qualification? Being of no discernible threat to the captain. terrifying reminder of the perils of competitive vegetable growing, this sinister squash has become a terrible influence on his once peaceful pumpkin. Xerox magic has created the ultimate superfood. This is one ghoulish gourd that's simply bustin' for a dustin'. Everything is a competition for these demon sisters. When not disemboweling intruders, they enjoy a good game of chess. We'll never know who's better. One of them always flips the table. Perhaps the last remaining dragon? A fearsome, indomitable beast with absolutely no vulnerabilities, apart from that one cranial fracture he sustained from waking up with a start and banging his head on the cave roof. Good thing no one will ever find out about that. Dragons were once hunted for their blood, which is said to grant the power of fire breathing. This particular dragon's solitude stems not from the fear of hunters, but from his crippling social anxiety. Is it really possible to be a ghost, a skeleton, and a pirate? Yes. Not only that, but this Halloween trifecta is so fearsome that he was promoted to captain after just a single mutiny. The other pirates look up to him. Well, he is twice their size. These are spineless.
Oh dear, it seems this thing doesn't want to work. Okay, let me attempt this. Many years ago, a foolish sorcerer, Marek the Muddled, Mazok the Muddled, came into possession of a dragon egg. At the same time, gallowmere was suffering under a terrible famine, and Mazok, I don't fucking know, Mazok had been ordered by his king to seek out a magical solution. If only the kingdom's scrawny chickens could lay eggs the size of a dragon's egg. Though Mazok, and he set about applying his questionable skill to transform the egg. Several days later, the kingdom had become saved. The hatched chicken dragon, the Jabberwocky, as it came to be known, possessed the frosty of a dragon and the dim wit of a chicken. They rampaged through the kingdom on a murderous spree and killed so many that even the merge harvest was enough to sustain the survivors as they mourn their loved ones. Well, the Jabberwocky was finally chased from the land by the hero, Drick Steadfast, who poked it with his magic sword. Oh, but the guy pokes a dragon, chicken dragon to go away. Nice. Okay, what's around here? Inspect the edges. Oh fuck that. Hang on. Screw you. I hear more minions. More imps. Die, die. Woo, 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 woo. Right there. Lost soul. That's the biggest fish I've ever seen pulled up into the water. Right by the village lake. You should have seen it. I am sure those fish are still there. What? Oh, I have no idea.
Know that if you release the entrapped souls in this chest, they will need help to be set to rest once again. Assisting these souls would earn one a place in Gallowmere history as perhaps the greatest of all its heroes. Is that something you would do, Sir Dan? If you do, history will be yours for the taking.
Of course I will. Oh, reading.
The Secret
More.
Diary of Xerox. 100 years I've spent in exile, using my anger to keep me warm, feeding off my suffering, relaxing with my angst. Oh, but soon they will pay, all of them, including Fortescue. He thwarts my first plan to conquer Gallowmere, then posthumously claims to have killed me. When I find him, I'm going to get MediEvil on his bony behind. I never liked him anyway, always hanging around the court interfering. Where are you going with that dead cat, Xerox? Where did you find that brain, Xerox? Wretched busybody.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to take the gold armor off. Yoink. Super armor, don't do nothing.
Spellbook. Contents. Raising the Dead, page 5. Putting a Town to Sleep, page 71. Looking Good for the Over 400s, page 136. Robbing people of their free will, page 207. Summoning Demons, page 268. Card Tricks, page 298.
Cool. Can I use his ladder? Oh, good. Alright, nothing this side, let's go another one. Dead, I'm dead. Life. Fill up my bottle. Yes. Huh. Anything interesting? Oh, miles on top of that. This looks like a boss arena. Aye, I'm out of here. Going up. Hey, there we go. Screw it, I'll get the chalice now. Yoink. I'm a little knackered. I wonder. Actually, can I? Actually, anyway, what is the point of me doing that? I don't think there is one. Fishing in the sleeping village. Huh? Why is this glowing? Oh. Oh. Okay. I know what I'm doing. I know what to do. Time to do some side missions. Well, Lost Soul stuff. Who of heroes? 19 chalices, yeah? Where is it? Nope. Oh, you.
Hey, Danny man, how's that sword bearing up? I told you it was magic, right? I've got something here I can give you, but I've no idea what it is. Do you fancy your chances, like?
Just give it. Give. Aha! You could have been bloody useful. Oh, anyway. Well, I've been Mr. Guard. I hope you've had a decent time. And I'll bid you farewell. Cheerio.